The American Heritage Dictionary defines faith in the following manner. Number 1, a confident belief in the truth, value, or trustworthiness of an idea. Number 2, belief that does not rest on logical proof or material evidence. We will now set out to prove that evolution teaching is far more faith than fact. Evolution and origins go hand in hand. To say otherwise is completely dishonest, and it is a frequent straw man argument that the ardent evolutionist will proffer. But it would be as if I were to say, I am a Christian, I believe that Jesus is Savior and Lord, but I do not believe the Bible is valid or true. It has no purpose in my belief about Jesus. But the problem is that the Bible is the very foundation for my belief in Jesus. By the very same token, the evolutionist cannot honestly say that evolution teaching is truth, but that the teaching of origins really has nothing to do with it. For the teaching of origins is the foundation, or the Bible, if you will, of evolution. The textbooks dealing with the entire subject of evolution begin with origins. Big Bang happened 12 million years ago. Solar system in the Earth happened 4.5 billion years ago. Then there was a primordial soup, out of which arose a single-cell organism, out of which came multicellular organisms, and then eventually flatworms, and flatworms to the ancient fish, and fish to amphibians, and amphibians to reptiles, and one of the three branches of reptiles became the mammals, and then eventually one of those mammals became our common ancestor with the chimps, and then eventually man is here. And all of this happens over millions of years. The theory of origins and evolution clearly states that all of life had as a common ancestor single-cell organisms. These, rather accidentally and non-purposely, came into existence over millions of years through the magical process of chemicals mixing in just the right amounts and sequences because of other accidental, non-purposed, random energy input sources like lightning and ultraviolet radiation. So why is evolution a faith? Let's address the foundational elements of evolution and origins teachings. The origin of the universe. How did it come about? Well, we don't know. There are many theories. The Big Bang is one of them, but they are disputed theories even among evolutionists. How about the origin of our own solar system? When, how, why? We don't know. There are many theories, but we don't know. How about the origin of water, the most plentiful substance on earth and absolutely necessary for the sustaining of all of life? When did it get here? How did it get here? And why did it get here? And why only on our planet as far as we know? We don't know. There are many theories, and it's quite the conundrum to the evolutionist. How about the origin of first life? How did something go from non-living to living? We don't know. There are several theories. It does not happen now without intelligent, purposed input. We know that. How about the origin of this simple life into the first complex life? We don't know. Evolutionists will tell you there are several theories, but they don't know. How about the origin of sexuality and reproduction, the first male, the first female, the reproductive systems and their interconnectivity with other systems? How did all of that happen? We don't know. How about the origin of complex life systems like sight, the brain, the heart, circulation, the immune system, the endocrine system, the digestive system? We don't know. There are theories, several of them, but we have no conclusive evidence of how it came to be. How about the origin of man's universe of uniqueness? There's nothing out of the millions of species of life that even compares with the uniqueness and intelligence of man. How did that happen? We don't know. There are theories, but we don't know. How about the origin of language? This is what sets man apart from every other species. Why do we have language and none of the others do? We don't know. How about the origin of the intricate language of DNA? The only language code known to man which has not been invented by man. How did it get here? When did it get here? Why did it get here? We don't know. Well, what are the facts of evolution? What do we know for certain within evolution study? Evolution just means change. The word is not evil in and of itself, and it's quite scientific and valid for describing many processes of life. So what do we know about evolution? What is scientific fact? Number one, species can adapt and undergo changes within species. Because of environment and genetic combination possibilities, these seem to dictate these evolutionary processes. We call this microevolution, changes within cells, changes within species. Number two, we know that there are limits to changes within species. As far as we know to date, you can reach a brick wall to genetic changes within species. You can only go so far with changes, and then that is it. This has been demonstrated, much to the dismay of evolutionists, many times over. Number three, to say that one species can become another new species is a little disingenuous. First, even evolutionists cannot agree on exactly what a species is. Secondly, a species is at least defined as being something very, very similar, offering many varieties of those similarities, yet it is always the same kind of living thing, obvious to even a child. There are many varieties of horses and dogs or yeast species, for example, but they are all recognizable as being in the same kind or class or population of living thing. For example, again, even a child can recognize that a bird and a lizard are two different kinds or populations or classes of living things. The same with a yeast cell and an elephant, or a plant and an alligator. The same with a man and a fish. There are common sense and scientifically recognized differences in kinds or classes or populations of living things. Number four, we know that one kind of living thing, as we have just defined it, has never been observed to become another kind of living thing. Can one take a variety of fossils of living things, lay them on a table in order of progressive similarity, and then declare, see, the fossil evidence shows that one thing became another thing over billions of years? Yes, you can do that, and this is what evolution teaching does. But this is conjecture. It is a guess. It is a faith, a belief and an idea not supported by material evidence. But it is not known fact. The fossils have yet to prove anything of the sort. Equally, can one say that because small changes are known to take place within species, that these small changes could have led to bigger changes and caused new species to evolve? Yes, one can say that, but the current evidence does not conclusively support that statement. So the statement is a statement of faith. Number five, we know from the latest DNA research that even though all living things share the base foundation of DNA, and that all living things share similar DNA attributes, and that some living things are very, very similar in DNA structure, like chimps and humans, but we also know that DNA, as we currently observe it, prohibits one family of living things from crossing with or becoming another family of living things. Chimps are chimps and humans are humans. It is a theory to say that they might have come from a common ancestor, but it cannot be stated as fact. Again, it is not supported by material evidence. Just as plausible scientifically is the theory that the chimp and the man might have had a common creator who is using common building blocks. From the beginning of the universe to man, how did it happen? We don't know. Are there theories or guesses? Yes. Do some hold scientific validity? Yes. Does scientific validity connote absolute proof? Certainly not. If it does, then we can claim that scientific validity is absolute proof of an intelligent designer, for there certainly are some scientifically valid indications for that theory as well. So from the origins of the universe, the solar system, water, first life, simple to complex life, from the origins of sexuality and reproduction and complex life system, and the origins of man's universe of uniqueness, and the origin of language, and the language of DNA, much of evolution teaching and foundation, most of evolution teaching and foundation is faith, ideas and theories, not supported by material evidence. It is not fact. And this is an indisputable, indefensible fact. Yet every day your child goes to a government school. They are told that evolution is fact, and that they are uneducated and unintelligent if they don't believe it. Do you see something wrong with this picture?